What is going on, people of the SmartHouse Society? Matt here from mksmarthouse.com, and in this video I'm going to be showing you the most unique smart plug, and then we're going to hack it. So the way this video is going to work is I'm going to first talk about the iClever plug out of the box, how it comes, the app, all of its different features around the product, and then we're gonna hack it and connect it to OpenHAB. So why are we talking about these smart plugs? Well, for the next couple weeks, I'm gonna be talking about different ways you can control devices from OpenHAB and from your phone. So in this week's video, we're gonna be talking about the iClever light plug. But then in future videos, we're gonna be talking about my power strip and also different SON-off ways to control devices. So don't think that this is the only way you can control plugs or devices in your house. We still got many more to go over. So this little green board inside this iClever light plug is called a PCB. And recently I've been getting my PCBs from PCBWay. Now, I don't promote things on this channel that I don't personally use, and I've been using PCBWay a lot lately. Like, let's take a look at the PCBs that I ordered. Look at how many I ordered. Guys, if I didn't believe in this service, I would not be promoting it. This is stuff that I bought with my own personal money. This is not what they sent out. So I've spent hundreds and hundreds of dollars on PCBWay, but you don't have to. Their starting price is $5 for 10 PCBs. And that's a great deal because if you use my cash code, which is on the screen now or in the description, you can get $5 off. So that means instead of spending money, you can get your first order for free. But what is PCBWay? Well, PCBWay is a full-on prototype service. So they have PCB assembly, SMD stencil, and they have been in business for a long time. So head on over to PCBWay.com. So what is this iClever light plug? Well, it's, as the name implies, it has a light and it is a plug. So what that means is you can plug this into the wall and then you can plug another device in and control that from your phone. You can also control what you plug in from this button right here. But what makes this device very unique is the fact that it has a bright white ring light right here. So at night, if you want, you can turn this on and have some lighting on the side. This is great for, say, if you have this in the hallway and you're going to the bathroom, say it's like 2 a.m. or something, and you don't want to blind yourself, you can go ahead and turn this light on, and it provides a nice pathway for you to walk. So let's take a tour around the product. So on the front, we have the ring light under here. Here you have your female plug, so you can plug whatever you want into it. Then on the sides, you only have that button that I mentioned previously. On the back, you have your device information, and you have your male plug that you plug into the wall, or maybe a power strip if you'd like. What also makes this device great is that out of the box, it is compatible with the Google Home, Amazon Echo, and IFTT. Now let's talk about what comes in the box. But before that, let's take a tour around the box. So on the front, it just says iClever, it says Smart AC Power Plug, just has the QR codes to download its app, some specifications. So it says AC 100 to 240 volts, 50 to 60 hertz, power rating 1,250 watts or 125 volts at 10 amps. And the LED light output is 0.4 watts. The color temperature is 3000K, and it works with Android and iOS. But what comes in the actual box is you get your documentation. So this shows you how to set up the device. Make sure you follow exactly how this documentation says to set it up, because I didn't think that I needed the user manual, but this device is interesting because it has a hidden Wi-Fi network. So you need to really use the instructions to set it up. You get your warranty card and also how to connect it to all of its other things that it's compatible with. And then you also get the 2 bags that both of these came in, and then these were just sitting in the box. But that's right, with this in the box, you get 2 of these devices. Right now, one of them has these jumpers in them. This does not come with the box. We'll talk about this later. But in the box, you get both of these, basically 2 of these. Ignore the wires and imagine there's a cover on there. We'll talk about this later. And this device comes with an app called Smart Life, which is free on the App Store, and that's how you set up the device out of the box. The link to this device, and as well as other things we talk about in this video, will be in the description below. Also in the description, follow at MK-SmartHouse on Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat because that's where I give sneak peeks on future videos and only things like a true smart home enthusiast would enjoy, such as projects I'm working on or some things that will be coming in the channel in the future. But enough talking, let's go ahead and see how it works with the app and all set up. Alright guys, I got the device all plugged in, it's connected to power right here, and then I also have the app that they tell you to use called Smart Life installed. So let's go ahead and open it. I have already gone through and set up the entire device. You just have to create an account, connect it to Wi-Fi. It's really simple, nothing that we haven't done before. So this is actually a pretty good app. I kind of like it. It's nice and simplistic and futuristic. It's really cool. So you should see it on this screen now. And so I only connected one of these because the other one is hacked at the moment. But let's start at the top. So you have the smart plug feature, but actually just as a proof of concept, yes, I know this is redundant because this is a night light, but I'm going to attach this light to the device. All right. So I'm going to click the smart plug. As you can see, it turns blue. It's a little like icicle looking thing. And it turns off. Pretty simple. In the app, you also have a countdown. So you can say to turn it on in 1 minute. So it's pretty cool. It counts down till it turns on. You can also go through and schedule when you want the light to turn on and turn off. So that's it for the plug portion of this device. Next, we have the light portion. So if we tap on it, the light turns on, turns off. Pretty simple. You can also adjust the brightness of the lamp. That's pretty cool. And then just like the plug, you can create a schedule of when you want the light to turn on and turn off. And you also have an all off and an all on. So it turns both on, both off. If you click these 3 lines at the top, you can modify the device name, the location, its network, and you can connect it to all of these supported things. So you have the Amazon Echo, Google Assistant, IFTT, and these 2 that I haven't heard of. And then you have more things like check for firmware, device information, feedback, and stuff like that. But overall, without hacking it, it is a great device on its own. If you just want something simple that you can control from this app and you don't want to connect it to OpenHAB, this is a great device. But you know us, we like to control stuff from OpenHAB and have one nice ecosystem, so we're going to hack it. But this is totally not necessary and great on its own. All right, now that we've gone over how this device works out of the box with its app and everything that it comes with, it's time to turn this light plug into what I did to this one. And so what I did to this one is I hacked it and I installed my own custom firmware so we can make it work with OpenHAB. The process is honestly very straightforward, and we're only gonna need a couple of things. A soldering iron, solder. Next, we're gonna need a small flat screwdriver. We're also gonna need male-to-male DuPont jumper cables, an Arduino Uno, or any Arduino equivalent that you can connect to your computer, a computer, and finally, a mobile device to set up the device. And then some things that aren't entirely necessary, but make the job a lot easier. A solder holder, a tip cleaner, and helping hands. This alone will make the job a lot easier. Also a solder fan. So this is one that I made. If you guys want to see a video on this solder fan, let me know, but it's pretty simple. The links to all the tools and parts we'll be using in this video are in the video description. But specifically, you can pick up the Arduino Uno and the jumper cables off of mksmarthouse.com/shop. Also on mksmarthouse.com/shop, you can pick up an LED strip like I have behind there that you can control from OpenHAB. You can pick up blinds control, sprinkler systems, door sensors, fire sensors. In the future, you'll be able to pick up a power strip. And all the devices that I mentioned are pre-flashed with firmware, even the kits. So if you buy a kit, all you need to do is solder it together, and boom, you just connect it to your phone, and from there you can connect it to OpenHAB. And if you buy it assembled, you just have to plug it into the wall. So go ahead and head over to mksmarthouse.com/shop. And you're actually lucky because I have not finished my V2 videos. So the coupon code V2, you can get 10% off your entire order. So head on over to mksmarthouse.com/shop, use promo code V2 and get 10% off your order. I don't have too many kits available on the store and I don't have too many of these available on there. So hurry in before it's all sold out. All right, so the first step is we need to take off this plastic cover. So what you want to do is take your small flat screwdriver. There you go, there's mine. And you want to stick it in at the top. You want to really push it in. And then it will pop out right here. And then you just want to pull off this plastic piece right here. And that reveals the Wi-Fi module. So the reason that we can hack this and put our own custom firmware is because like all of our projects we covered on this channel, it uses an ESP8266 variant. That's really good about all these smart home companies nowadays. They all use ESPs, which means we can have fun with them. All right, in this next step, we're going to be soldering the male-to-male DuPont jumper cables to the iClever device. And we're only going to need 4 cables. We're going to need 2 for power, and then we're going to need 2 for TX and RX. Before we get into soldering them, let me show you where they go on the device. So on the screen now, arrows should have came up showing you where they need to be soldered. So actually I'm going to take an electrical tape roll and set it up like this so it has something to rest on. Now I'm going to take my alligator holder. If you didn't notice, we are in my shop right now. Excuse the mess. It is a shop, but we won't be in here long. Soldering is quick and easy and painless. So the overall idea is we want to take one end of these jumper cables and attach it to this. It doesn't have to be a super secure soldering job. It just has to be enough because we're only going to be using these cables for like less than 5 minutes. So first thing I'm going to do is take them all and put a little bit of solder on each one of these. So I got them in the alligator clip. Put that off to the side. I'm going to grab my soldering iron and my solder. That right here. Also going to take my soldering fan. Put that pretty close. Tin my soldering iron a little bit. So now I'm going to put it underneath. Put a little bit of solder. So I'm putting my soldering iron underneath, and then I'm putting the solder on top. You don't want to put too much solder, just enough. Put the soldering wires off to the side, and now I'm going to tin the spots on where I'm going to be soldering to. So when you're soldering, you also want to be careful not to touch the soldering iron to the plastic because the plastic will melt. Actually, I'm going to clean this first. All right, I moved the shot so you guys can see it a little better. I'm going to do this one right. All right, as you can see, I just added a little bit of solder to the spots where we're going to solder the cables to. Okay, now I'm going to take my red wire. This is going to be my power wire, and I'm going to solder it here. See, nice and easy. Already soldered in. Took less than 2 seconds. There it is. Nice and attached. 3 more to go. Now this next cable is going to be hard because it's right next to the RX cable, but it's alright. It's not that bad. It's just going to be the hardest one that we did today. It's even fine if you do it off to the side a little bit. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I just put it off to the side a little. And that's it. 4 simple wires. It's not the prettiest, but it's going to get the job done. So 3.3 volts, ground, RX, and TX. Give you guys a nice little shot right there. All right, now let's go ahead and flash it. Guys, do you like smart homes? Do you like projects like this? Then you're part of the SmartHouse Society. Why not show the entire world that you love smart homes and smart home projects like this by picking up a piece of SmartHouse Society clothing? So this is the t-shirt. On the front it says SmartHouse Society, and then on the back it says Elite Member, because you are an elite member of the SmartHouse Society. We also have hoodies in many different colors, not just black and white. So go ahead to smarthousesociety.com. Use the promo code ELITE to get 15% off your entire order, which if you add it to your cart and do the math, that's pretty cheap. So don't wait. Head over to smarthousesociety.com now. All right, so now that we have the wires all connected, we're going to download the firmware from my website. So I will leave a link to the exact page in the description below, but it's going to be mksmarthouse.com. We're going to go to guides, then we're going to go to control, scroll down and click iClever light plug, and this is going to be a link. So we're going to go to the links tab, make this full screen, and we're going to download the firmware right here. We're not going to download the INO file. The INO file is the entire Arduino project file, so if you want to make some modifications, that's right here for you. But we want the firmware, so we're going to enter the email address. The reason I asked for an email address is so that way in the future, if I make an update to this firmware, you'll be notified. Then click download file. Now click here to go to the downloads page. Click the green download button and it will download the file. Next, to flash the actual device, we're going to need a program called Pi Flasher. So if you go back to the iClever light plug links page and go to this link, click on it right there, and then you click on the one according to your version. So if you have 32-bit Windows, you download the 86 one. If you have 64-bit Windows, click the 64 one. And if you're on a Mac, download the DMG file and then go through its installation and setup process. I already have the program, so I'm just going to go to my Launchpad and then I'm going to click on the Node MCU Pi Flasher 3.0. All right, so this is the program we're going to use. So the first part is serial port. Click on the drop down and remember what devices are there. Now we're going to connect the device to the Arduino. So now we're going to connect the iClever device to the Arduino. To do this, we're going to need one more male-to-male DuPont jumper cable, and we're going to put that on the Arduino from reset to ground. There you go. It's over reset and ground. All right, now we're going to plug it in as follows. So this black one right here, this is TX. So we're going to connect it to the TX slot. This one right here, the brown one, is RX. So we're going to connect that to the RX slot. Then this red one right here is 3.3 volts. So we're going to plug that into 3.3 on the Arduino. And then lastly, this green one is ground. So we're going to plug that into another ground port. All right, there you go. That's how it looks. You can pause the video if you want. Take a closer look at it. Again, you guys can pick up these DuPont jumper cables and this Arduino on my website if you want. Now we have to connect it to the computer in programming mode. Now, unlike my normal devices, this is a little bit different. All right, so to connect it to the computer, what we have to do is first hold down the button on the side of the iClever, and then we plug in the USB cable into the computer. Now you can let go of the button on the iClever. All right, now that the device is connected to our computer, let's go back to the program. Click on the little refresh button. Click on the drop down, and as you see, there is a new device here. We want to click on that device. Then we're going to click on the browse button and go to our downloads folder, and then click on the iClever.bin file, the mk-iclever-lightplug.ino.generic.bin file, and click open. All right, now for the baud rate, we're going to do 115200, flash mode dual IO. Yes, swipe all data, and click Flash Node MCU. All right, it finished flashing because it said leaving and then done. Great, so now we can close that out. And now we can unplug the Arduino from the computer, and as well as unplug all the wires in between the Arduino and the iClever device. So that way we have just the iClever device right here. So now this device has our own custom firmware onto it. Don't unsolder the DuPont jumper wires just yet. Wait until you have the device fully connected to OpenHAB. Then once it's connected, unplug the device, and then we're going to unsolder the wires. I'll show you that later. But for now, let's go ahead and plug this in and set it up using our mobile device. All right, so the device is now connected to power. When it's connected, you want to make sure none of these DuPont jumper wires touch each other, because if they do touch, they could short out the device. So if you want to be extra safe before you plug it in, you can put electrical tape in between each of them. But for me, I know where they are, so I'm just going to make sure that they're all separated and I don't touch them. Again, it's very bad if they touch each other, so don't let them touch. But now we're going to set it up through the mobile device. So the device is connected to power. I got my mobile device. The first thing we want to do is go to settings. Then we want to go to Wi-Fi. And there we go. We can see the MK-iClever light plug. So go ahead and tap on that Wi-Fi network. All right, and as you can see, the configuration portal popped up. So let me explain what each of these are. So the first one is configure Wi-Fi. This is the one that we're going to tap on. Then next one is configure Wi-Fi no scan. This is good for if you have a private Wi-Fi network and it doesn't have an IP, doesn't have a broadcasted Wi-Fi network. You can click on that one and manually type in your SSID and password. Next is info. This just shows you some info about the device. Not really needed. And then lastly is reset, which does a power cycle device, so it turns it on and off, or it turns it off and on. All right, let's go ahead and click configure Wi-Fi. All right, so in the first section, we're going to choose our Wi-Fi network. This only works with 2.4 gigahertz. So you'll only see 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi networks. I'm going to click on K Wi-Fi. All right, so the next one is hostname / MQTT ID. So this is how it's going to look on your network, as well as from the internal side from MQTT, how we'll see the device. But honestly, it's just about the host name. So it's what you want it to be seen on your network when you go to see all the devices. I'm going to name this MK-iClever Light Plug 1. So the next one is MQTT. This is how it connects to our MQTT server. So the first one is the IP address of the server. This is the IP address of your OpenHAB server / MQTT server. Depends on how you have it set up. But if you're following along with my videos, then the MQTT server IP address and OpenHAB server are the same. All right, next is the port. If you know your port, go ahead and type that in, but normally for us it's going to be 1883, so just leave that as that. Next is the MQTT topic. So my MQTT topic is MK-. So I'm going to make this device the first iClever Light plug, and then I'm going to redo all the same steps and do it on the second iClever Light plug. So that way I'm going to set up 2 of them and connect both of them to OpenHAB. And next, this false. So if you have a secured MQTT server, so that means it requires a username and password to connect to it, you would change this false to a true and type in your username and password for your MQTT server. But mine is authenticated, so I'm going to leave it at false. All right, next is web updaters. So this is the portal that is on the device, and it'll show you your status, your settings, basically how the device is set up. So I'm going to make this admin. All right, I set a username and password. Okay, and at the bottom you can see to reset device settings, unplug the device and plug it back in, then hold the button for 10 seconds. So this is how to reset all the settings on the device. I'll show you this at the end of the video. All right, now click save. And the way that this works, if it applied the settings successfully, then the Wi-Fi network should disappear from your phone and everything should close down. Oh, there we go. It closed down and the Wi-Fi network disappeared. That means we're good to go. Now I'm going to set up the second plug, the same thing as the first one, and then we're going to add it to OpenHAB. I'm going to set this one up off camera. I have gone through and both of the iClever Light plugs are now set up. Now let's go ahead and connect them to OpenHAB. So the first thing we're going to need is my website up. So I have a link in the description to it, and we want to be on the demo page. My website has all of the code and command line that we're going to be using for OpenHAB. And so the first thing we're going to do is SSH into our OpenHAB server. So if you're on Windows, use PuTTY, and if you're on Mac, use Terminal. So since I'm on Mac, I'm going to go ahead and open up Terminal. All right, so now I've SSH'd into my server. The first thing we want to do is add the items to our items file. So I'm going to copy this and paste it in. It's going to need admin password. All right, so this is my items file. I'm going to put this below my Yeelight. If you haven't seen my video on the Yeelight LED strip, go ahead and check it out on my channel. It was a couple videos ago. So now we're going to take these 2 big code blocks and paste them into our items file. There we go. They're in. So let me explain what these are. So the first thing is the comment. So this is saying that we're going to be doing iClever Light plugs. This is just for organizational purposes. It's not required. But the first one has to do with one iClever Light plug, and the second one has to do with the second iClever Light plug. Well, let's go ahead and take a closer look in the items file. So I'm going to focus on one of them. So I'm going to start with the first iClever Light plug. So the first part is switch, and this is for the light. So what this item does is it controls the actual light portion of the plug. So I gave it's a switch because you turn it on and off. Then I gave it the name MK-iClever Light 1. Then I said its name is iClever Light 1. You can change this name to whatever you want. I'll probably end up changing this to left cabinet or right cabinet. I don't remember what I'm going to change it to yet. And then this is the picture that's going to show up in the sitemap. Then I'm going to give it the switchable tag so that way I can turn it on and off using an Amazon Echo, Google Home, or a Google Home or Apple HomeKit device, so Siri. And then this is the MQTT declaration. So actually I think this is going to be easier to show on my actual website so I can highlight. Alright, so we're going to be using the MQTT binding, as you can see here and here. We're going to be sending a command. This is the name of our broker. And then this is the send command right here. So when we turn the switch on, it's going to send the command LED on to the topic MK-SmartHouse/utilities/MK-iClever light plug 1. To know what your MQTT topic is, we can go and check on the status portal. So to access the status portal, you type in http:// the host name of your device. So I'm going to do iClever, or is it, no, it's MK-iClever light plug 1. So that's the host name, and then you want to write .local. Click enter, and it's going to ask for the username and password. So this is the username and password we set when we set up the device. Mine is admin, and then we're in. So let me go over this status portal real quick. So the first part is the host name of the device. Then we have the MQTT server it's connected to, the port it's using, whether it's using authentication or not. And then this is the MQTT command topic. So this is the topic for which we send commands to it. So we tell it to turn on the LED, turn it on the relay. And then this is the status topic. So this is where it tells us its current state. So whether the light is on, whether the relay is off. And then the last one is to update the firmware. And so what you would do is you just open up a new tab, paste that in, go to .local/firmware and click choose file, and then choose the new firmware. So if I was updating it, I would click on the bin file, and then you'd click open and then click update. These reset settings, ignore this. This is not how you reset it. I guess I'm going to have to update the firmware real quickly. So before you guys see this video, this will be changed. So don't even worry about it. The correct way to reset the device will be up. But anyway, back to what we were connecting to the items. So whatever you have right here in the command topic, you want it to match everywhere where it has this sign. So it would be right here and right here. And then you want this part to match right here and right here, and then that would be over here. So then that's the MQTT, and then at the end, I'll just show it on here, you have auto update equals false. So this is so that way it works on a two-way basis. So when you send the command, then this device will send you its status back. So in OpenHAB, if you flick the switch and this turns on, it'll send you the status back saying that it's on. And but say you send a command on and it doesn't turn on, say this is unplugged, then the device in OpenHAB won't change. All right, and then the iClever light plug, the second item, is this basically the same thing as the first. It just has a different name and a different picture, but all of these are the same. But the MQTT commands that we send are LED on and LED off. So these MQTT commands trigger the LED, and we have relay on, and relay off, and that triggers the relay in the device. So these first two items are for the light plug 1, and these two items are for light plug 2. I hope that was clear. All right, so now we're going to exit out of the items file. So we're going to click Control X, then Y, and enter. All right, so next is the sitemap file. This is what we're going to see. Going to paste that in, click enter. And so I already put the first light plug in the dining room. I'm just going to add the second one as well. There we go. So I put the first plug here. Yeah, the first plug and the second plug, I put them in the dining room because you'll see at the end of the video. But basically you want these item names to match the ones that you put in your items file. So let me explain this. So they're all switches, so they're just switch items. So then you just click Control X, then Y, and enter. All right, so now lastly, we're going to create rules for the devices. This step is not entirely required, but I just wanted to give you guys some ideas of things that you can do with the devices. So I'm going to scroll all the way down to the bottom of my rules file, and as you can see, I already have them pasted in here. So what this first rule does is it turns on the lights in the iClever light plugs at 8 p.m. And so the reason I want to do this is so that way we're not walking in the dark, and so you don't need to necessarily turn on the actual light switches in the rooms. You can just have some nice night lights. So it turns them on, So that's the name of the rule. 8 p.m. This is the cron expression. If you want to change what time in any of these rules, simply go to cronmaker.com. So I go to cronmaker.com and then you can choose when you want these rules to occur. So you can do hourly, daily. So say you want it every day at 2 o'clock. So you click create cron expression, you copy this, and you would replace it and paste it in here. But anyway, so it sends the command on to the first light in the light plug and the second light in the light plug. Next rule I have is iClever outlet turn on 7 p.m. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So this is going in my dining room, and in the dining room we have these like nice lights in the cabinets, and I don't want these to turn on every day because during the week there's no point because no one's there to enjoy them. So on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we have people over, and so it'll automatically turn on and we don't have to worry about it. And then we have it so the iClever lights turn off at 3 a.m. We have the name of the rule. Here's the cron expression for 3 a.m. and it turns off the light in 1 and in 2. And then I have the turn off the outlets at 11:59 p.m. on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So I have it plugs 1, turn it off, plug 2, turn it off. Alright, that's it. Click Control X, Y, and enter. And I'm also going to restart OpenHAB using this command. Okay, now we're going to restart OpenHAB. Alright, now that OpenHAB is restarted, let's go over to our web user interfaces. Then we're going to go to Basic UI. And as you can see, we have our iClever light plugs right here. Right now I only have one of them plugged in, but I'm going to turn on the light, and as you can see the light turned on, turn it off, and I'm going to turn on the plug. You may have heard the click. I'll put it closer to the microphone. It's all nice and working. Alright, now that it's all nice and working, actually I'm going to test out I'll test out the second light plug on my own, but now that we confirmed that they work, oh, and as you can see, if I press the button, it changes the status. You can hear the click, and you can also see that it changes in OpenHAB. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and test out the second light plug, make sure that works, and then I'm going to go downstairs and desolder the wires. Alright, now that both light plugs are tested, I'm going to grab my soldering fan, got my soldering iron here, and now I'm simply just going to disconnect all of the wires. I'm actually going to start with this green one right here, and all I'm doing is just heating up the solder and popping the cables free. Alright, now I'm going to do this black one over here. Boom, that one is also free. Then this brown one right here, that one is now free. And then I just have this red one left. And that's it. And then you just want to do a quick check, make sure none of the joints are bridged. That one looks good. So this one is ready to go. I'm going to do the same thing to this one right here. Alright, now that everything is disconnected, there's one more step left, and that is to put these clear covers back on. And so all you want to do is just slide them in and just press. You want to push in and press down, and they'll snap in. Same thing for this one. Just want to slide it in, push it in up top a little bit, and then just press down and it'll snap back together. Cool. So now these things are fully set and ready to go. All right, so this is where I put them. One of them is right here and it's attached to this cabinet. And then the second one I have attached here and it's also attached to this cabinet. All right, I have the OpenHAB app right here. I'm going to scroll down to where it says dining room. There it is. Now I'm going to turn on one of the lights. Oh, I don't know if you can see it, but it's over there. Yeah, you can kind of see it through the curtain. Then I got the second light, which is over there. So this is going to be nice when it's nice and dark. Then I got the first plug. There we go. It turned on the cabinet lights. Then I'm going to turn on the second plug. Also turn on the lights. And for the heck of it, I'm just going to turn on both of them. Both of the lamps. And I'm going to turn everything off. I accidentally tapped the wrong one. There we go. All right, so that's it. All right, now let me show you how to reset the device. What you want to do is plug it in and then hold the button on the side. Hold it for about 10 seconds, and then we will see the network of the device, or the Wi-Fi network of the device. Yep, there it is. So now the device is reset and you can go ahead and modify the settings. All right, that concludes this complete guide to hacking the iClever light plug. If you guys have absolutely any questions on this video whatsoever, maybe the items, maybe how it connects, leave in the comment section below or head over to mksmarthouse.com/forum. Again, if you guys want 10% off my store, use the coupon code V2, where you can buy maybe an LED strip like this one that's been changing colors the entire time. That's a video coming soon, probably the next video after this one. Or maybe blinds controls, I know you guys love those. And or door sensors or fire sensors, anything you may need. Even the DuPont jumper cables we used in the video, the Arduino we used, all over at mksmarthouse.com/shop. All right, once again, if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below or head over to mksmarthouse.com/forum. Goodbye.